Hello, Padres fans, and welcome back to another video. We are so close to opening day. But as we count down the days to opening day, we got to, of course, cross the threshold first of spring training. So let's talk, of course, about spring training. And of course, in between spring training, of course, is the World Baseball Classic, which throws a monkey wrench in all of this. So, Brandon, let's talk about what you are excited about, what you are worried about with the World Baseball Classic coming in between all this. Let me get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've all been waiting all winter for spring training, and now it's pretty much basically here, and it'll be super exciting because of the last few days, there's been a lot of movement with the Padres, and AJ Preller just signed an extension, and there's been four or five guys added on contracts. And, obviously Michael King's coming back, and Sung Song is going to make his stateside debut. So there's a lot to look forward to. And, at the same time, obviously, as you mentioned, a lot of the Padres' most important players won't be in San Diego, or not in Arizona, I should say, for spring training because they're going to be in the World Baseball Classic. That includes Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis playing for Dominican Republic. Mason Miller is going to be on Team USA. Xander Bogaerts is going to be playing for the Netherlands again. So obviously, while it'll be unfortunate to not have them in camp with the team, that does open up some opportunities for some younger guys or from some guys, non-roster invitees who are going to play a really important role for the Padres this year. Obviously, again, Nick Castellanos, Miguel Andujar, they were just signed. Again, there's Ty France was just added on a minor league contract, Jose Miranda earlier this offseason as well. But it's really important that, because a few of these superstar players, as it were, won't be with the team throughout most of March while the WBC is taking place, that's going to open up really, really big opportunities for, beyond just the big name, NRI guys. Samad Taylor, was signed, Francisco Acuna as well, Nick Solak. I mean, there's some guys who weren't really thought of as like genuine, candidates for one of these reserve roles on the bench or in the bullpen, that might get enough run now in spring training with the WBC to, if they don't make the opening day roster, at least, are they the next guy up at AAA in El Paso? So, I'm not expecting, a huge breakout story. I'm not expecting someone to make a case for, like a roster spot that we haven't already expected because we've talked about so many guys at this point. But it will be exciting, as the Padres play through spring training in March, beyond watching Tatis and Machado playing for, Team DR, seeing some of these younger guys or these veteran guys who are getting another chance, doing their best to try and crack their opening day roster.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You and I, talk on multiple sites. We have our sister site, Talk Sox, where they were in kind of a similar situation where so many of the teammates of the Boston Red Sox have so many players playing for so many different teams in the World Baseball Classic. And it's so many veterans, who,
Mhm.
it's your favorite player going to play for, whatever country. And you're like, well, crap, what do I do from here? And this is kind of to the Padres' advantage at this point because look, whether you're a fan of Fernando Tatis Jr. or if you're a fan of Manny Machado, that's great. They are the face of the Padres franchise right now. Now that we have people like Miguel Andujar, Nick Castellanos, I'm naming outfielders, Ramon Laureano, Sung Song, Will Wagner, this is the time for these people to shine, that you don't
Mhm.
see so often, or again, are new to the team, but are not new to the franchise as a whole, right? These people are still veterans, or, if you're, Sun Song and you're, part of a completely different country, are masters of their craft in their own
Mhm.
right, but they need to make their name for themselves for on the Padres. If you're Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., you already have that locked down. Now that
Yeah.
they're off with their own country, this is their time to shine in spring training.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't have said it better. I mean, it's just really a situation where, again, I think the rotation is probably the place to look because again, we know for a fact Michael King and Nick Pivetta, those are the top guys. We're going to see Joe Musgrove again this spring, finally coming back from Tommy John surgery. That's very exciting. We assume he's healthy and we assume he'll be the number three guy. And then there's an open competition for the next two spots. I mean, it's going to be a free for all. Randy Vasquez, German Marquez, was just signed to a 1 year deal. And then, I mean, there's so many non-roster invitees and guys that were signed this offseason between Kyle Hart, Omar Cruz, Tristan McKenzie, Marco Gonzalez, Sean Boyle, top prospects, Miguel Mendez, JP Sears is still around. So, I mean, there's so many guys that are going to be so interesting to watch. Again, obviously none of the Padres pitchers are pitching, or beyond Mason Miller are pitching in the WBC, but it's a situation again where because it's spring training, because it's the warm up to the regular season, it's a situation where we don't need to look forward to seeing Manny Machado hit a bunch of home runs. That can come when the games actually matter. Now is the time right now for younger guys or veteran guys trying to reestablish themselves to do that and to make a case for the roster. And obviously, it'll be imperative for them to make a good impression with Craig Stammen, the new first year manager of the Padres, or Steven Souza, the new first year hitting coach. Obviously, Ruben Niebla is still around as the veteran pitching coach, but it'll be a lot of new pieces to fit into the puzzle, especially with Stammen leading the charge. So I'll be interested to see mostly how the team meshes in spring training, even without some of their veteran leaders, because that's going to be one of the biggest storylines as Stammen tries to take this team to the promised land in 2026.
Yeah, it's a really interesting time to be a Padres fan after so many changes from 2025 going into 2026, both with the front office, the management, and so many team players leaving and so many new ones, both veteran and, new players. When I say new, I mean, young players coming in.
Mhm.
But as I'm always going to say, I'm going to get tattooed on me by the time I'm done here. Only time will tell. So, what are you thinking right now? Are you excited for the Padres season coming up? Are you worried that we're missing some of our key players going into spring training? Let us know in the comments section below. And as always, we'll be responding to every one of your comments.